Good evening and welcome to Please Don't Judge Us. I'm your host, Yolanda L. Robinson. And joining me for this evening's show is Brother Gene. How are you, Brother Gene?
I'm doing fine, Andy. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so very much for joining me. Now, I need you to do me a favor.
Yes, ma'am.
I need you to reintroduce yourself as only you can and tell us who you are. Anything you want me to know, tell me right now.
Okay. Okay. So my name is Gene Bouie, and everyone calls me Brother Gene. Brother, because I think there are two titles that a man can be called in life. The most important, of course, is father, and second to that is brother. And so I heard the minister say a long, long time ago, 1974, so it's 40 years ago, that wherever you are on the earth, you see another black person, a black man, that's your brother. And so from that time to now, I take that very seriously. So I'm Brother Gene.
Brother Gene.
Okay. So let's see. So this is going to be very interesting. So I'm glad you asked me to do this. So a little bit about myself. So I'm originally born and raised in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay. Brick City.
And so went to high school at Bouie High School in Indians, and graduated a very long time ago.
Okay.
And what's really interesting about my life is I happen to have been raised in a two-parent home, and my dad had to work two jobs because had to make ends meet, and all I had to do was go to school. And I had a very strong mother who taught me about God and life and love, discipline. Of course, discipline. She carried a big stick. As a matter of fact, today is the 10th anniversary of her passing, so it's a special day for me.
Yes, it is.
And so I went to school. I was a B student, BC student, because if I was an A student, which I was one time, my mom darn it killed me when I got a B, so I figured I'd stay by her. But anyway, I went to high school. I went to college, got kicked out of college my first time around because I had to go to school full time, had to work full time because I didn't have a scholarship or anything like that. And had a very interesting long life. Happened to never really got in a lot of trouble, but did have encounters with alcohol and drugs. And I heard a man give a speech in 1974 that kind of helped straighten me out. What's really interesting about that speech is it put into perspective the importance of self-respect, self-esteem, and hard work. And then as things go, life has its ups and downs, so we fall back to the street. I think scripture says that the dog will return to his vomit. So, we sometimes lose course. And I just happen to be blessed that I had a full life. I had the opportunity to run my own business. And now I'm a senior director for educational research firm, which is how I earn a living. And I got to thinking that my daughter Nina is very involved in the community, and I've watched her over the past few years do a lot of good work. You and her partners. Anyway. And I got to thinking that I have to try to give back. So God has blessed me with knowledge, skills, and abilities that I think could help. And so the past, I guess now it's been 6 months or so, I started getting involved in trying to help out. And Trenton is full of a lot of good people trying to do some good work, especially men. I think I was invited back in January, I think, or February, to a meeting, a breakfast meeting with about 35 brothers who were really committed, all from different organizations, different walks of life, committed to trying to do something to help Trenton get back on its feet. And I thought that was really good. There was Councilman Zach Chester, Freeholder, Sam, he was also there. And so that kind of got me engaged. And then I kind of said, So what can I do that that could help? And so I have organizational skills and things of that sort. And so I'm the president of a non-for-profit rebirth community development company, corporation. And so with my daughter Nina, I said, so what are some of the things that we could do? So we started doing workshops. I think the first one was back in June, and it was a men's only meeting where 70 men showed up. And so we talked about education, career, and then we just gave them a kind of tough love kind of conversation because I am them and they are me. And you know, I didn't mention earlier, but I've actually been homeless too. So you figure with the alcohol and the drug and been unemployed. So I'm them. And just 2 years ago, I now have 2 degrees from Thomas Edison State College, which was very conducive to a working guy because I could work full time, do my online classes, but I have an associate's degree in political science and a bachelor's in social sciences. And so what we figured is if we could talk about ourselves in a way that men could see themselves in my story and know that there's a way out. And then my job, the way I see it, is to link them with support. So we did a men's only meeting in July. Subsequent to that, partnering that men's only meeting, we partnered with Thomas Edison State College and Council Zachary Chester. We did an educational fair, empowerment fair, and we partnered with Mercer County Community College, which I found out really good things about. Those folks down there, they care, they work hard, they opened up the college to us, and so that worked out pretty good. And then a couple of weeks ago, because everything is about money, right? We did financial empowerment workshop where Fia from PNC Bank, best friend of PNC Bank, actually came and did a workshop for the folks who attended. It was also pretty well attended because sometimes we make mistakes with money, and if we, you know, it's like I think Maya Angelou said that when people know better, they do better. So our effort is to help people know better so that they can do better. And so that you don't make the same mistakes. For example, knowledge is power. Unless today, because there's so many people looking for jobs, if you can't differentiate yourself with knowledge, skills, and abilities, guess what? You're not going to get a job. So for all those folks who don't have a high school diploma, or don't have college, you're at the bottom rung when it comes to, you know, like people say, well, I can't find good people. But, you know, because the coin of the realm is some kind of higher education. Could be a certificate, might not necessarily be a 2 or 4 year degree, but you need to have some evidence of your knowledge, skills, and abilities. And so what we're trying to do is connect people to those resources. I received a call a couple of weeks ago. A sister here in Trenton, Edith Larimore from North 25 Housing, reached out and said, Brother Gene, these men need help. And so I met with her, and what we're going to do in October is to have a men's only meeting, and we're going to focus on the men of that community in the North Ward to try to do the same thing. You know, sometimes people are hopeless because they don't know that they can do better. And so, you know, I'm a witness that you can do better. You know, you can do better. You can overcome. And so if someone could tell you the steps to take, and you just follow through and take those steps, your life can change, like literally overnight. So that's kind of my story. That's got us to where we are right now. Nina and I, God bless my daughter, Nina and I really care. And so this non-for-profit, I had someone ask me, so Brother Gene, how much money do you need? But for me, it's not about the money yet. You kind of have to lay out where it is. So if you look around Trenton, there are a bunch of non-for-profits doing some really good work. And so when do you replicate the services that are offered, or do you help people leverage the strengths, you know what I mean, so that you could do even better work. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says in the Message to the Black Man that we should pool our resources, and if someone has knowledge of a certain or knowledge of a certain in a certain area, then the people who don't have that knowledge partner their money, their time with that person who has that knowledge and skills, and then you could do better as a whole, pulling your resources. So I guess I see myself as the guy who's going to try to point people to existing services, because there's a lot of good people. My Brother's Keepers, the Seed Program, Shiloh CDC. So we got all of these. I think Brother Bruce Boyd has an organization, and they're trying to do good work. And so there's enough bodies and enough souls to be saved. So, I don't see myself as necessarily needing to set up a program, but be kind of like a Pied Piper, just to direct people to the resources that are available. Like, for example, one thing that Nina and I have discussed over and over is our people fail because of being, many people fail because of being functionally illiterate. So if you can't read and write, then you can't effectively communicate with people. So pride sometimes gets in the way. So what we hope to do is say, it's not where you are. That, you know, that's one point in time. Is where you want to be and what's the path to get there. So if you have to suck up your pride, go to a weekly or
something.
Learn how to read and write so you can communicate. Those are, you know, if you can't complete a job application, if you can't do a resume, it puts you at a disadvantage. So sacrifice. I mean, you know, if you really want change, you have to think differently about yourself. When you think differently about yourself, it'll bring about a more critical look at yourself. And then once you start looking at yourself critically and realize that I really need to do this in order to help myself, and there's people who will help me do it, then you go get help. Don't worry about the pride, because at the end of the day, so let's see, how many years ago? Was probably in the very early 80s. I was homeless. Slept in a car. But you're in my home now.
Beautiful too.
You're in my home. I've got a decent job. I do good for people. But it's all because I realized that right then, after the drug thing, that I didn't want to live the rest of my life. You know, you gotta say, okay, I don't want to do it, and then find people who will help you. So it's not getting all the way over here. I think the Chinese say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So you take the first step, then you take the second step, then you take the third step. But one thing that we don't like to do, we don't like discomfort. So we like feeling comfortable. But you got to change. It's like giving up an addiction. If you want to change your life, you might not have a drug habit, but you might have an old friend habit.
Shopping habit.
You got something that's keeping you from getting where you need to be. So you need to change the people, places, and things. That's how it starts. And so, you know, what we hope to do is just to help people think differently about themselves. Because, you know, once you start thinking differently about yourself, Elijah Muhammad said that 100% dissatisfaction will bring about 100% change. So for me, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll do something.
The change is coming. That discomfort will kick in.
But it takes work, and some people don't really want to work. I mean, and they think that, okay, if I say, okay, I'm going to do things differently, that it's going to be easy. But Scripture tells us that trials purify, and after there's struggle, then there's ease. Then there's some more struggle, then there's ease, and that's what makes you stronger and better. You know what I mean? So.
But we have to want to do the labor too.
And that's important. You work a lot. You know? You're always trying to help people. You and my daughter, y'all are busy sisters. That's another thing that, for me, when we think about men, so the one thing that disappoints me most is that brothers don't give sisters the respect that they should do. that they're due. So if you think about it, you got a mother, you got sisters, you got aunties, you got a grandmother. How would you feel if someone disrespected your mother, your grandmother, your auntie? You wouldn't like that. So why would you disrespect somebody else's mama, grandma, daughter?
Yeah.
I mean, men have daughters, and so if you have a daughter. So the daughter's got a mama. You disrespect the daughter's mama, and the daughter sees you disrespect her mama. That daughter is liable to accept that kind of disrespect from a man in her life. Yeah. That's not what you want for your daughter. So I think that that's another part of these men and women meetings is to teaching the honor and respect and protection of the woman, and it's important. And then lastly, we got these babies. So men are, by scripture, the maintainers and the supporters of the family.
Yes, they are.
So just because you got baby mama drama, don't mean you don't support and love that child. I think Brother Malcolm says that fatherhood is responsibility, and so you have to love and support that child. Now, you might not necessarily have money because times get hard, but that ain't got nothing to do with the love you could give that baby.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? And so those are the kind of things that we share with the brothers, because brothers really want to do good for themselves. And I'm a firm believer that in most cases, brothers are in the condition that they are because the circumstance they find themselves. So they made poor choices years ago, but they can't seem to get out of that rut, because of those old choices. And so what I hope to do is to say, brother, yes you can.
Yes you can.
Yes you can.
Yes you can.
Yes you can. Make up your mind you want to get out the rut, and get out the rut.
And get out.
And get out.
And stay out.
And stay out.
And if you do go back, get out again.
Yeah. Don't quit. Don't be a quitter.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned earlier, I think you said about action, doer being a do. You can't be lazy. And you can't be a dreamer. Yeah. So guys sit and dream about what they want, but they don't get up and go to work to go bring it into it. Yeah, you got to do that.
You got to put the work in.
You got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. And then it's not easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry.
No, I'm thankful because this is about you. Okay. And like I said in the beginning, get it out. Go ahead. Okay. You know what I'm saying? No interruptions, because I know you had a story, and I know that you're good at telling your story. So you ain't need me to ask you no questions. Just go on now. Do your thing, and that's what it's about. Okay. Because when you're trying to get people to understand what's really going on, let me say what I got to say. Okay. Listen to me. You know what I mean? And that's what you did. I applaud you for doing what you did, and being able to bring yourself up, because I was homeless a few times before, so I know. So I know what that's about. I know, and I think that's what that drive comes in at, as to say, listen, I'm not going to concern myself about all that other stuff, because to me, I learned a lot during that time that material things is not what I'm after. You know what I mean? So be honest, we can be living in the house and still be homeless. Yeah, because every house ain't home. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So it is amazing, how you look at life, and I'm looking at it in a different way, because I know, and the Lord is telling me, timing is everything. It is, and if you're not there, or you miss it, or you just late, whatever it is, that timing is gone. Like I was saying to you before, even for an example with timing is everything, it can be for a father, like you said, with these fathers who may not have a relationship with the mothers, right? They're trying to get themselves together. Now, the mothers already know, but most of them know how to take care of their kids. Be honest, those mothers, they may fuss about the baby daddies, but them kids are taken care of, and kudos to the moms that do take care of them, right? Absolutely. So now the fathers are getting themselves together. Mothers, guess what? It is going to be a time that man is going to be there for you and that child. That kid may be 26 years old. Okay? And that man may come right out the blue and may be able to scoop in there and save the day.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's all that matters, because timing is everything. I didn't need you then. Well, maybe I did, but guess what? I really need you now.
Yeah. What's really interesting about that is some brothers actually distress of the relationship with their child's mom is such that they allow it to keep them away from the child year after year after year after year. And I'd like to say to the brothers that you can't let that anxiety get in the way of you showing love to that baby. You made the baby. And sometimes sisters, you know how y'all could be sometimes. Y'all stubborn sometimes.
Yeah, but let me just say this. It's not always the woman, because let me tell you, those men who have the children, they are worse than the women. You know what I'm saying? And I can speak for an example. I won't go all into it, but I'm just saying, so sometimes the parent that's not there, they get a raw deal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They get mistreated. People don't talk about that. All they say is, "Oh, you not there, and you wasn't there." Da, da, da. Did you include me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You blocked me. You know what I mean? So I couldn't come to the graduation. I wasn't there for the prom, or I wasn't there for this and that, because you didn't call, you didn't include me, but you got that check and you spent that check.
Ooh.
You spent that money though.
Yeah.
But you didn't do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's a two-way street. And women, we get it too. Yeah. So us mothers, power to us, because we have to do it. And for the fathers that are really doing it, continue to do it. And I think it's important, like you were saying about the men not respecting the women. That starts at home.
That's right.
My grandson is 5 years old, and he knows how to hold the door for us, ladies first. You know what I mean? You teach him at a young age, and we call him Mr. Lee. We've been calling him that since he was born, and I'm teaching him, you're a man. This is how you address a man, and he knows how to address other men, and he don't find it hard to say he's 5. He just got skipped to the first grade.
Bless him.
Yes. So he doesn't find it hard to know how to approach a lady or address a man. He knows how to shake his hand. He doesn't find it hard to say Mr. or Mrs. You know what I mean? You teach him that at a young age.
I think it's scripture, I believe it's Proverbs, that says, raise a child in the way I'm not a pastor, but raise a child in the way you want them to go. When they're old, they won't depart from it. And so, that scripture is really real. You start early. Yeah. And you make a really good point. I take my hat off to the sisters who are raising young men. Because it's not easy for a sister to raise a male child, and especially when there's no examples of a good man who is around them. So I would also say to the sisters that if you're raising a child, get them involved in the YMCA or the boys club or martial arts, so that young man can be around real men and learn discipline and respect, and self-defense, of course. But they need to be around good men, and that's really, really, really
that's really important.
And brothers need to raise your sons. But if you're not perfect, and you already know you ain't perfect, you need to have your sons around some men that are a little bit better than you, to get yourself
That's
together.
right.
Don't worry about being proud. At the end of the day, it's all about the baby growing up to be the man that you know he can be.
Come on now, you better say it. Because it's true, and it's about, even if you're not with her and she's with a man, don't be blocking. Don't I know we're probably going a little bit to the left with it, but it's going to bring us all back, because it's all about the family. You understand? Like, school is back in session.
Yes, ma'am.
The kids are back in school.
Right.
They need to be going to bed at a decent hour. You know what I'm saying? They need to be getting a balanced meal. All of these things, and the parents need to be helping them. And let me tell you something. It's not always up to the school to do. right? Now I'm learning something a lot. My grandson, my daughter, thank God she has him in private school. So I'm learning a lot from her having him in private school. The things that they ask the parents to do to take the burden off the school.
Yes, ma'am.
They gave him a list for a year's supply for school supplies. Like he needed like 10 packs of pencils, like 10 note, like all this 5 glues and things of that nature. So each student got a list like this, right? So now they're able to stack the closet.
Right.
Now they got supplies that last them all year long.
Yeah, that's all about planning.
It's all about planning.
Yeah, that's something that we don't do too well, sister. We're more fly by the seat of our pants kind of people. And if we did more planning about our lives, planning about our finances, planning about our children. So if you think about it, right, we're kind of all over the place here, but
that's okay.
When you think about all of the black people who have never gone on a real vacation, so you spend a whole year stressed out to the max, barely making ends meet, when if you had like they used to do Christmas clubs, if you had a vacation club where you could put that $10 a week into a vacation club, well, it's 52 weeks in a year, that's $520. Well, supposing that 10 could be 20. So for less than $100 a month, you could have $1,000 set away to go on vacation. So now you can have a real vacation. You can take your child up to the Poconos for
whatever.
Those kind of things. But that's about planning.
Now, let me get a little deep with you with that one right there, right? You jump into the Christmas and the vacation at the same time. So now you take that 20 and you got 10 going over here to the vacation and 10 going to the Christmas. So twice a year, you got some money coming from somewhere, but it's your own money. You ain't borrowing it from nobody or nothing.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul, so you don't have to use your bill money to go on vacation and buy Christmas toys.
But let's just say this. Even though the show had taken a different turn, you're talking to 2 former people that were homeless at one time that are now homeowners. Knows about the finances, knows college educated, you know what I'm saying? I'm working on my master's. I just got to sit still long enough to finish it.
It's a busy girl.
I'm so trying, y'all. I'm so trying.
You better get
I only need 8 credits.
Listen, you better get an online course so when you get home, you start reading. That's funny. That's funny.
But I'm saying is that don't judge us. The show is called Don't Judge Us. Don't look at us and say, oh, look at them, fancy. No, I knew Pop, I call him Pop, Brother Gene was going to be fresh to death with his suit on. But you know what I did? I brought it down and I came as the host. I relaxed it. You understand what I'm saying? Because don't judge us. We just here to get the story out and let y'all know what's really going on. But yes, I learned a lot. I've been through that growing stage, and let me tell you something, the things that he's talking about and the changes, they work. I've been that person. I've been there in that seat. You understand? So I can stand up here flat-footed and say it works. The money management, everything, the education, it all works.
Yeah, you really have to, when you think about it. So like I said, I just got my bachelor's degree last September. Well, I've got 17 grandchildren. I've got old grandchildren, young grandchildren. But just that piece of paper changes how people perceive you. And just because I got a suit on, because I work in corporate America, so I decided not to change clothes because I knew you were coming here. But don't judge people who have. Not everyone who's all dressed up and finally could afford to buy a home is a snob. If you take a minute to talk to your brother or your sister, they might have the key to you getting your own feet out your own way.
Come on now.
Being homeless, that was because of bad choices that I made.
Yes, but then when you started doing the good things, look the result. That's all it is. It's no real big secret. It really is. There's no genie in the bottle or nothing.
No,
it's just that you be like, you know what, this ain't working.
Right. That's where you got to get to.
That's it.
Yeah, that's where you got to get to. And then you got to do, and don't be afraid to ask for help. So often we let pride get in the way. Well, you got to ask for help. If you see your brother and your sister and they're doing okay, just ask them to point you in the right direction. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how many, because I'm living in Trenton now. Mm-hmm. I've met some wonderful people in this town,
some wonderful people here
who will literally give you the shirt off their back, and they don't mind telling you, well, you could go. You hungry? Well, you could go over there and get something to eat. You need a place to stay? Well, this organization helps with temporary housing. So all that exists, but you gotta go get it, because it's not gonna. It's not going to come. I always say this: there is no spook God. So if you're waiting for a spook God to drop something out of the sky for you, it ain't going to happen. And the true and living God, well, He helps those who help themselves. And the Quran teaches us that Allah will never change the condition of a people until they change themselves. Getting back to that, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired,
what you gonna
and
do?
Decide to do something about it, then God got your back.
Got your back.
Yeah. So
so I'm just so thankful that we got a chance to sit, and talk. It was fun.
Sorry, we kind of got off.
But that's okay. It was needed.
Yeah,
it was needed, and it's real. Yeah. And that's one thing about Please Don't Judge Us. It's about the realness of it. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to thank everybody for just taking the time and just listening to us talk. Just don't judge us. Support us. Support this brother. Support all the organizations that's doing wonderful things in the Trenton, New Jersey area, the Mercer County area, the Burlington area, wherever you are, even in your own area, wherever you live at. Find an organization or create one to help somebody. Find a need and fill it, because that's what we got to do.
That's right, because we are brothers keepers.
Yes, we are brothers keepers. So Brother Gene, I want to thank you so very much for being a part of my show. I'm so excited, for you, for everything that you're doing. Give out some contact information just in case they want to reach out to you.
Okay, so if you'd like to reach out to me, my email address is my name. Full name GENEBOUIE at rcdcnj.org. I did good. So let's do that again. GENEBOUIE at rcdcnj.org. All
right. Well, y'all heard him. Get in contact with him. You want to give out a phone number?
Nope, because I don't know which one.
I know that's right. Well, y'all better email him so he can come out. Invite him to come and speak at one of your events, or come to one of his events. Support him and Nina, because they're doing a wonderful thing in the community, and we have to get out here. We have to fill the need. So please continue to do what you do. I'm your host, Yolanda L. Robinson, and thank you for this episode of Please Don't Judge Us.
Yeah, thanks.